Hey, Russ here, and welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk about a problem on my table saw. I've noticed lately, and it's just been a gradual thing, that every time I crank that blade, the higher I crank it, the harder it's getting to go that last little bit with it. So it's really getting to be a problem at this point. That means it's time to lube it. So I take the front cover. It's a unisaw, so it has the access panel on the front on the unisaw. And what I found when I opened that up is that right here. This thing is just full of sawdust. So what does that mean? I now know the problem with why this is gumming up with sawdust, obviously. So not only do I need to lube this thing, but I need to figure out how to stop this from happening. Well, to stop it, first thing I got to do is fess up to why it's like that. If you watched my video on my table saw setup, or my dust collection setup, I think it was, earlier last year, I talked about I use a flexible hose, and in this area, I move it from one machine to the other, so I have only one run all the time to my dust collector, and that helps keep it as strong as possible, and it gives you the best suction. So, but the problem is that I am most definitely not always putting the hose where it needs to go. I admit it, and now I have to figure out how I'm going to cure that problem. Well, first off, I'm going to clean this all up so I can get my head in there and get up there and lube it. So let's first take a quick look at how I'm going to do that, okay? So right over here on my table, this is what I got. I have to have a dust mask, obviously. A couple of flashlights in case I can't find the one while my head's under there. I got another one. Put on a quick little apron to hold everything. A little dust pan and broom. And a couple other types of cleaning pieces that I might possibly need when I'm under there. And my remote. My remote goes to both of these hoses. Why do I have two hoses? You should already know the answer to that. The reason I have two hoses is one is sucking and the other one is blowing. If you remember, I set up my Legacy workstation and I put a vacuum up there with a blast gate on the exhaust so I can reverse my hose to blowing instead of sucking. Very handy in a shop to have that. And now I'm really going to get to use it because it'll be perfect for what I'm going to be doing inside of this span saw, inside of the table saw to clean it out. So my remote has 3 different remotes that it can control. And I'm put 1 and 2 on the 2 vacs. So I can turn them on and off while I'm also under there. So that's my strategy. I got to get under there and clean it. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a mess. And no, you're not invited because it is not going to be fun. But also, to do that, I am going to have to take my hat off. Sorry, you're not going to be there to see it. So, anyway, now I have to think about, after I cleaned it up, I get under there and I'm going to lube it up and everything. Then I'm going to have to run across the idea of why did it do that? I have dust collection and I move the hose over. Well, now it's time to come to realization. I probably don't move that hose every time I use it. I make probably half of my cuts are a one-time quick cut. Either grab my table saw sled or my fence, slide it over and make a quick cut on something. And then I go back to what I'm doing. So it's almost not worth the time to hook it up, turn it on and all that. And that is really the root of my problem. So how do I cure it? Well, there are 2 ways. I could make a New Year's resolution. We've all done that, and we know what happens when we do that. I'll always turn that thing on, and I'll always plug it in every time I use that, even once. Yeah, we know how long that resolution will last. And besides that, it's already too late for a New Year's resolution this year. So, and I don't want to wait till next year. So, the real solution is that I have another dust collector, a small one, that I bought at Harbor Freight, the smaller ones they make with the little cloth bag. And I have decided that I need to make these passive. So what I'm going to do is set up a quick, easy blast gate in the front of my setup here, of my table saw router table setup. And I'll be able to move that lever to switch between the 2 machines instantly. The other thing that's going to be important is I'm also going to hook up that dust collector, put an easy emptying pail of some kind under it, just like I did with my shop vac system, that quick bucket that you can take out easily and put back. I'm going to do something like that for that dust collector, and then I'm going to put it on a switch that anytime I turn on any one of these 3 machines, it'll kick on my dust collection so that it'll start sucking the dust, and I won't have to think about anything other than flipping the blast gate. Now, eventually, if I decide to really get fancy, I could go to an automated one and all that, but I'm not going to do that. That's too complicated. We do like to keep it simple. But this is a future project. When I get it done, I'll show it to you how I take the shop vac, the dust collector, that small one. It's a 4-inch still. And I'm going to hook it up with a duct system between all of them. An easy dump bucket will also be on there. And then I'll put it on a power switch so that if I turn on any of the machines, it'll automatically kick on the dust collection. And I think that'll be a big, big help to keeping this from ever happening again. Because I looked at my other table saw, the one I used for the dado set, and yes, it has the same problem. So apparently, I am in the habit of not always hooking up that and using it every time like I thought it was at the beginning. Lesson learned. We're not going to change the strategy. Now you see what it looks like now. Unless you want to come by and help me clean this up, I guess we'll have to call this video over with. I hope you learned something about it. And when I get it done, the problem actually fixed, I'll be sure to share it with you so that you may be able to pick up some good ideas from that for your own shop again. So, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please say like. Also, most importantly, please come back again because we'll know when you're done. We'll see you again very soon. Bye.